All right, so the problem is that you have these limiting beliefs and that they're stuck in your subconscious mind and you can't manifest or create positive relationships, or your finances are out of whack, or even just on a more basic level, you feel like you keep having just really shitty days because of all of these limiting beliefs that you have. And if you could only identify and get rid of the limiting beliefs, then you'd be happy. Like, that's what the problem is, right? We're going to talk about that and how that's a bit of it is an approach. All approaches are valid, but I think that it is an elongated and misguided approach. My name is Lucian Francois Mateo St. James. Thank you for tuning in to tonight's episode of the Ministry of Assumption Absolute, brought to you by and courtesy of the Electrics Temple. I'm here to encourage you in knowing with empowered conviction the truth of your transcendent divinity, how to live as the love that you already are, to live as the power that you already are. We're co-creating this moment, and I do appreciate you for it. And I'm not here to tell you anything that you don't know, but I'm here serving as a mirror to help you remember what your soul forgot when we incarnated here down into this third density, with this world being a hologram and that whole simulated situation. So I've been working in the field of probably been studying personal development the last 10 years, but working in the field of mental wellness in a variety of capacities for the last 6 years or so. I have probably dipped my toe in most common major methodologies that come to mind that you can think of. And this is what I have learned talking to hundreds of people, working with hundreds of people at this point in time on a one-on-one basis, is that you have to stop consenting to what you believe is true about you, because there is no you. I'm going to say that again. There is no you. There is no, like, there's a 3D meat suit, right? There's a vessel that when we look in the mirror, we can identify, oh, that's me, meaning I am having, as pure conscious awareness or pure consciousness, I am aware of the fact there's a body there, and that's the body that I'm experiencing, and that body has an ego, and that ego is what we would currently, or that's what we, what I meant is commonly what we would commonly identify as a self, an identity. Or as I saw one creator, gosh, I don't, I was just clicking through stuff and watching it. I wish I knew his name. But he called an identity, an ID entity, an entity. So coagulation of thoughts, and then those thoughts then collect to become belief systems, identifications. But it's all labels outside of yourself. If you're a sports fan, you're a fan of this team, probably per this regional district. You have what your parents told you. You have what the media tells you. You have what you've been taught to believe by the school system or lack thereof. You've been taught what you should think about your demographic and about your gender and about your race, and all that shit's happening outside of you. So you have labels and identifications that you've applied to yourself, or that have been stamped onto you unconsciously, involuntarily. And then you have ideas of experience. So, and those experiences then are still interpretations of the circumstance, because everything happening around us is fundamentally neutral, but we ascribe meaning to those circumstances, and the meanings that we ascribe, if we're not intentional, then become a part of how we identify ourselves in reference to the experiences that we've had. And that's the problem, is that we're using experiences to tell us who we are. So you get dumped in 6th grade and you think, I must be a loser, or I'm unlovable, or I have to settle for a certain type of person who's going to treat me a certain type of way because I'm not built for love. Or maybe you got, I mean, our parents, as icky as it is, no one likes to talk about the fact that Freud was right, but our parents are our first love relationship. So unless you replay that tape, now you don't have to live there, but unless you replay that tape and figure out what you learned, you're probably still living it. And that's my point today, is that you don't have to replay the tape a million different times. Okay, I'm getting ahead of myself, so I'm going to get to what to do about limiting beliefs. But very quickly, what I'm saying is that there is no self. There are ideas. There's no, there's an ego that has ideas of experience. There is no self. There's ideas of experience. You have ideas about what you've experienced. And once you can separate it from that level, that it's not you, the stuff that you've been through is not you. You have more agency. You have now a free space to choose, well, who do I want to be? And then it's a matter of just becoming certain of that. Now, that can come by way of repetition. It can't happen just once, but it's you deciding for yourself, you choosing, who am I? And there is no I. I mean, that's made up. That's my point, is that it's all made up. So you might as well fill in the blanks yourself rather than, letting the hodgepodge of reality do it for you. And that's why, then getting to that, there are no limiting beliefs. Like, anything that you're aware of right now is a belief that you are co-signing, that you are agreeing to. Over the years, again, I've worked in a variety of, I've used a variety of methodologies, trying to be vague here, in the field of mental wellness. And I don't know how many times I've assisted someone to identify a belief system that is no longer serving them, that is connected to habitual behaviors that they might have that could be labeled as self-destructive. And they say, yeah, but my mom taught me, or my dad taught me. I mean, and it's usually those things. Then stop agreeing to it. Like, that's the answer. I'm not saying that it goes away immediately. You're going to have to continue to, as that thought comes up, as that belief system comes up, as you notice that your behaviors then are representative of a certain system of thought that you've decided to release. It probably won't be one and done. It can be, but you just stop agreeing to it. And you decide that it gets to be easy. Why does it have to be hard? Why does the process of, I mean, I don't even like the word healing, because there's nothing to heal. You're not broken. You just have you have an idea that, like, if there's anything to heal, it's the idea that you need to be healed. You're not broken. So there's nothing to fix. There are ideas you have about what's messed up about you. Stop, like, co-signing off on those ideas. It's like the worst version of the shittiest experience you have says, hey, sign off on this loan here. And the loan is doubt, guilt, shame and more shame, just oodles and ounces and pounds of shame. It's going to be delivered to your door. Less than 48 hours. Sign off on this. Okay, well, I guess I have to, because, I did that thing, or my parents didn't treat me very well. And I am not, as someone who's, had an appalling upbringing, and again, as someone who's, worked in the field in a variety of capacities, I'm not minimizing the impact of your past experiences. I'm saying that you should stop agreeing that those experiences have to be the case when they are already in the past. Because the emotional salience, the emotional importance of whatever that event was, then wired into your brain a generalization that said, in order to avoid this pain again, we're going to create a new limit around what that thing was. So if I expressed myself once and I got hurt in 3rd grade, I learned, okay, self-expression is now a danger. Don't do that. Don't do that, and we can stay safe. Your brain's just responding to the things around you. I mean, it's a prehistorical, it's prehistoric. It's not always operating in your best interest. You cannot always trust the things that you're just thinking innately. You have to drive the car. You have to steer the wheel of that. Because if you let your brain tell you how to live, and you don't have any focused control over that, any discipline over that, your brain is just going to tell you to avoid everything in the past that might have been a little bit painful, or a lot of bit painful, depending on what it was. So there's no limiting beliefs. There are beliefs that you have now, yes, that might be reflective of past experiences that you acquired as a result of having gone through different things that you then attach to your identity. And there is no identity. There are ideas of experience. There are concepts that we have about who we choose to be. You can rewrite those concepts. You don't have to, okay, what are all my limiting beliefs? But I mean, like, right here, right now, like, you know what you think about money. Right here, right now, you know what you think about relationships. Right here, right now, forget the money and relationships. You know what you think about yourself. It's really where it all starts. Because if you hate yourself, then screw the money and all the outside stuff, like, friends and intimate relationships. I mean, if you don't like you, then, like, that's where we have to begin. So stop talking to yourself in a negative way. Write down the stuff that you think about you in this present moment. Deny that. You might need to trace, okay, well, why did I come to believe this about myself? That can be helpful, but I mean, the helpfulness of that has there's a limit. There's a limit. It can be helpful to reflect on the past, absolutely, but endlessly no, because then you're just replaying that image, then you're just placing it back in your awareness, then you're still struggling with, do I agree with it or do I not? How do I let it go? So just look at what you believe currently about yourself and stop agreeing to those things and decide that it gets to be easy. Assign a new state of self, and state of self meaning, how do you want to see yourself? What is your state of I am? Because your state of I am is all that you're seeing anyway. If you believe that you're somebody who never gets what you want, then, and I know this from experience, that's what you'll see. It works the opposite way. Like, we're programming this. Like, we are the creation, the act of creating, and the created all at once. It's all you. It's like the limiting beliefs. I mean, it's almost like you're saying that, like, these beliefs have some type of, like, control over you that you can't access, and that they're stuck there, and that you're struggling to get them out. Or point blank, I mean, you probably just know where they're coming from. You probably know, I think this because of this thing that happened. Stop agreeing to that. Stop bringing more of that past experiences into your current reality. That's what I have to say today on the mystery of assumption. Absolutely. Thank you for tuning into this transmission and co-creating this moment with me. All transmissions are brought to you by and courtesy of the Electric Temple. Check out the other stuff. Check out the Dispatches podcast. I've been doing some deep research for that, so that's fun. Talking about living an erotic lifestyle, a life of vitality, a refusal to be numb to yourself, and the Liberation Chronicle, which is the written word of the ministry. Remember to be good to yourselves and others, because everyone's just a version of you anyway. Until next time.